الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم المبعوث رحمة للعالمين، وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله. كيف حالكم؟ How are you?
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله. I'm good. I don't know how everyone else is.
Inshallah, everyone is good.
Inshallah. Just a bit tired, but alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, jazakallah khairan. How is your Ramadan going, my sisters? If you would share one thing about your Ramadan in text, if you want to share in voice, just be aware that the session is recorded. If you want to share something about this Ramadan, what would you share? The vast mercy of Allah, subhanallah. Alikom assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanallah, jazakallah khairan for sharing that. You don't, of course, you don't have to share, but if you would say something special about this Ramadan that you're noticing in your life, in yourself, share, so all of us can be inspired. Turn into Allah for everything. Allahu Akbar. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the provider. He is Ar-Razzaq. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakallah khairan for sharing that. Mindfulness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua being answered. Allahu Akbar. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Connection with the Quran. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It's okay, don't worry. We're just asking if you would share something about this Ramadan. What would you share? So we have few, mashallah, very inspiring, special feelings about this month. Mashallah, tabarakallah, the heart feel rest. Mashallah, Allahu Akbar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the Quran the spring of our heart. Ameen. Rabi'a qulubina. Comfort, peace. Ease. Allahu Akbar. أصحاب الكهف ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. The دعاء of أصحاب الكهف. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. الله أكبر. Jazakallah khairan. Barakallah feek. May Allah accept from all of us. For me, I feel peace. Subhanallah, the first few hours of the month, first few hours of that Thursday, if you remember, 23rd of March, is like a shift. Subhanallah, you feel peace around everywhere. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're just reflecting on the Mubarak month, the blessed month of Ramadan, and each one is sharing how you feel especially about this Ramadan. Some sisters feel special connection with the Quran, dua being answered, comfort, peace, mindfulness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you have something to share as well, go ahead. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers and accept our fasting. Allahumma ameen. And help those that are in need help. Allahumma ameen. And answer our du'as. And grant us sincerity. Allahumma ameen. Astaghfirullah. You feel the lack of presence of the big shaitan. Okay, in Arabic is called, according to the Prophet ﷺ hadith, maradat al-shayatin, al-marada. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, MashaAllah, tabarakallah. May Allah bless. Allahumma ameen. Jazakumullah khairan for sharing that. Inshallah, we continue learning from Suratul Hujurat. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إن الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. So we finished the verse, but we want to reflect just one more. Those that يغضون, غض in Arabic, something غض. When you say هذا عود, عود like a branch. غض means طري, means soft, means you can twist it without it breaking. So يغضون can mean they have a gentle sound, gentle, soft voice when they speak to Prophet ﷺ. They're mindful not to exhaust the Prophet ﷺ, so they're not talking too low, they're not talking too high. So they are now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying something about them. Those that يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله, in the presence of the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى. Those are the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did the imtihan for their qulub, for their hearts, to be eligible for taqwa. Imtihan, as we explained it, imtihan is like we do with the metals, like we give example of the gold. So if you pick gold from the mines, the gold is not 100% pure, or the gold from other resources like that had other metals joined with it. So in order to do imtihan for the gold, you need to put this gold in a big container, metal container, put a lot of heat, expose this to a lot of heat. The heat should make the metal melt. When the metal melts, what happens? The impurities, or what is not gold, floats on the top. So it's easy to be removed like a foam, very easy to be removed. And the 100% pure gold stays in the bottom. So this is what happened to when we imtahana the ma'dan. Ma'dan is the metal. However, imtihan as well happened to the qulub. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here. So which means one of us could go through a struggle, heat. The heat and the struggle and the challenge is what is going to purify your heart, because any impurities, any things that you are struggling with, not liking in yourself or not liking in general, is going to float on top. So they are easy for you to spot and easy for you to remove. And what stays under is the 100% gold, 100% you, 100% sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and that should make you eligible for taqwa. What is taqwa? To have the ability, taqwa, to have the capacity to be always thinking of Him, mindful of Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to refrain yourself from doing what exposed you to His anger, a'udhu billah, or to His fire. This is what taqwa is about. Protecting yourself from crossing the boundary, from crossing the limit where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say don't do. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised them with maghfirah. Lahum maghfirah. They are granted for them maghfirah, forgiveness. Wa ajrun azim. Sometimes the ajr, the pay, which is what the person get as a reward for their work, sometimes it's described as kareem, and here described as azim. It's great, because what they did, you see, they have made their voice low and soft. They are getting something so big and huge. Ajrun azim, subhanAllah. Okay, after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and this is our new verse, starting with verse 4, inshallah, today. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُنَادُونَكَ مِنْ وَرَاءِ الْحُجُرَاتِ أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. So there is a lot of culture and knowing a little bit about the Prophet ﷺ in this and about the incident itself as well. There is a little story behind. So first, inna alladhina. So we know inna. If you know in the text, help me out, please. So inna means for sure, indeed, verily. It's a word to confirm. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu feekum. Alladhina means verily, those who, indeed, those who yunadunaka. Yunadunaka. We know the ka at the end. Ka, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking to, mashallah, and you already figured yunadi. Okay. What is nida and what is the difference? Because you will say call, and when if it says dua yad'unaka, you will say call too. What is the difference between dua and nida? And both sometimes are mentioned in the Quran in the same verse, dua and wanida. And so you have to have the understanding what's the difference between dua and nida. Okay, if I call you, I say, for example, you're sitting beside me, say, my sister, can you please join us here? Or can you please come and help me with this? Or can you please come and offer that? That is a dua, that is an invitation. It's a calling for you, but it is not nida. When is it nida? When is it nida? And when I say, Ya Fatima, come. Or, Ya, let's say, Amina, do. Or, Ya Muhammad, do this. Or, Ya Ahmad, do that. No, to call using the first name. No, it's not the command. The command comes after the nida. Nida is calling someone using their first name. So when someone say, Ya Aliya, Ya Fatima, Ya Amina, Ya is in Arabic in the front is comes before the call, comes before the name, whom you're calling. And then you say what you want after you call their name. So if someone's saying, mom, 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 they're calling you, we call that nida. We say in Arabic, your son is yunadi alayki. Yunadi alayki means what? They are calling and calling using your name that they are usually call you with, mom, or Fatima, or Aliya, or Shakira, or Nisrina. They use the first name. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, indeed those who are calling you, but between brackets, using their first name. So what are they saying? Yeah, and they're saying the name of the Prophet ﷺ directly. Remember what we said above, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't تجهروا له بالقول. Don't call him with his first name, just like you call any one of you. So then now he's saying that there are people that actually did that. They went and they called the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Muhammad, like that. So they are yunadunaka. Min wara'i al-hujurat. Min, from, wara'i. Do we know wara'i? Wara'i. From behind, ahsanti. Al-Hujurat. So now the name of the surah is now in here in verse number 4. The rooms. Which rooms? MashaAllah, ahsanti. Which rooms? So Muhammad ﷺ used to live in where he lives. Each one of his wives has her own hujra. So we call this Hujratu Aisha. We call this Hujratu Safiya. Hujratu Maymuna, Naam, al-Mu'mineen, radiyallahu anhum. So it's easy for him to be in the Hujurat when he wants, and it's easy for him as well to be in the masjid when he wants, because the Hujurat are closed from the masjid. One of the scholars was reflecting, and he said, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, his time was divided always into 3 categories, or into 3 activities, let's say. One activity is when he's out. He's out of his house and he's out to the people. So he goes for the prayer, and he usually, if you follow the day of the Prophet ﷺ and you learned about it, you will find that if after every salat, he would have to sit and speak to companions and hear their stories. And if someone has a dispute, they go to him. If they want to find him, they find him after the salat. He spent time after the salat talking to the people. So that is when he is out. So when he is out, he's always with people, talking to them, teaching them, going around in the markets, in the places where they do activities to check on them, all that. Second activity is that he is in one of his houses or one of his rooms with his wives. So that's private, his private time. And the third time is when he is worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he is praying at night, when he is with his Lord praying. That's his third activity. So if you imagine one of us, or let's say imagine at that time, one of the people want to speak to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not in the masjid and is not around, what does that mean? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not in the masjid. It's not the time for the prayer. And he is not in the market. He is not around. What would that mean to that person that's looking for the Prophet? He is in one, ahsanti mashallah, he is in one of his room. He is in one of his wife's houses. He is in his private time, in one of two activities, whether with his wives or worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praying extra, reading Quran. It's his private time. So if this person wants to speak to the Prophet, they would have to wait for the time of the prayer and speak to them by himself. If he goes out of the house, it means he is available to everyone. He is the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak about in this verse did not wait until Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is out of his houses or his room, like whether he was with his wife or a group of his wives, or he was praying, or he was resting, or taking a nap. They didn't wait. They went from behind. So if you just, this is not exact drawing, it's just for you to understand the concept. So if this is the masjid, so M here is the masjid. And if we imagine that these are the rooms of the Prophet ﷺ, like where his wives are divided. This is rough. This is not exact or not even close to the reality. So this is the masjid and these are the rooms. So these people went from behind the Hujurat because they think if he's not in the masjid, because he is not, he has to be in one of these rooms. So they went from behind. Muhammad, ya Muhammad, ya Muhammad, want him to come out. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those that call you from behind the Hujurat, أكثرهم, most of them, لا يعقلون. So what is لا and what is يعقلون? لا is negation, they don't. And يعقلون, they don't reason, they don't use their intelligence, ahsanti, their sense, mashallah, I like the sense add, mashallah. They don't have aql, they don't use their aql. Why? Because if they had used it, and if they know where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he is available, when he makes himself available, when he is out, exactly, they didn't use their common sense, they didn't use their mind to think. Okay, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they came to call upon him, they needed something from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They had an issue with some of their relatives. They want those relatives to be released. They had a story and they wanted Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to interfere. So all the relatives, all these people get released or get out according to the story. I not want to go deep into the story, not to lose the track. So they had a problem, they had an issue related to relatives of theirs, and they wanted all of them to be solved and all of them to be attended. So that's why they insisted on calling the Prophet, calling from behind the Hujurat. Santi, I completely understand, my sister. Yes, some of behavior like this common in some culture, but it is not right. It is not right. We should always think that this person, if they're not out, they are having their private time. We should not call upon them like that. We could knock on the door gently. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, and Muhammad told us in the hadith, to knock or ask permission 3 times. Assalamu alaikum, is someone here? Assalamu alaikum. You don't call the name of the person or the son or the wife. You just say Assalamu alaikum. Someone at home. You say that 3 times. If you're not attended, according to the Quran, what do you do? If no one opened the door, according to the Quran, what do you do? You leave. Ahsanti. If no attended, you leave. Ahsanti. With having the phone, yes, people think they can attend you at any time, at any given moment. But again, phone somehow gave this idea, but you have your own boundaries as well. You attend the messages from this time to this time. You attend the calls from this time to this time, and you let them know. But if you call me before that or after that, I might not respond because I will be busy or not available, simply not available. Then there were no phones. Ahsanti. There were no phones. There were no ways. Ahsanti. So the manners of asking permission. This is another thing in another manner the surah is highlighting. How do we respect other people's privacy in general and the Prophet ﷺ's privacy in special? So they don't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they don't reason. Then what happened? Did the Prophet ﷺ go out to meet them? He did. He had to, because they calling, and now they're just not only disturbing him, they're disturbing everybody else in those Hujurat, all his wives. So he came out, but he had as well as he is the Prophet, he is as well a teacher. He had to teach them how to do it through his action. So we will see now. Okay, so you see, my sister, some of us can see that the phone make our life easier because people can just text or message or call, and they don't have to shop on your doorstep. But other things, still, the phone is making it accessible to anyone to call you at any time. Do you see? So it's up to you and how you think about it and how you set your own boundaries or what you accept or don't accept in when people attend you or call you. Jazakallah khairan for that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ صَبَرُوا. وَلَوْ, what is low? So what is and? What is low? If, sentence, and if, أنهم, that they, no, low is not or, أو is or, أو. أو is or, but low is if. And if that they صبروا. What is صبروا? Santi, mashallah, had a self-control. Allahu Akbar, mashallah. Mashallah. They hold themselves together, they control themselves. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Yes, have had patience, but my sisters try to put the meaning of patience as well together, because patience can be understood to wait, but here is to wait and hold oneself. So not to have this kind of behavior and calling the Messenger ﷺ and urging him to go out in his private time. Ahsanti, not to freak out, not to, because this calling, it's like you have to attend me, now, and all of them are doing that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and if that they sabaru, controlled themselves, held themselves together, had patience, hatta, Subhanallah, I agree. Yes, but we have to continue teaching them. We have to continue teaching the kids, and those that find it easy just to afford the access, we have to give them kindly, but we have to let them know. So hatta is until, if they hold themselves until تخرج إليهم. تخرج إليهم. تخرج إليهم. So إليهم means to ahsant, you exit or you go out by yourself, like with your own time. Ahsanti, you come out. You, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to the Prophet. The ta is addressing him. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, and if they controlled themselves until you come out to them, like you come out without them doing that, like they would wait and hold themselves until the time of the prayer comes. So he will come out, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to go to the masjid. They would pray, and then they can talk to him about the matter that they wanted. Not only not to annoy people, to respect their private time and respect their privacy. So, because annoy is a little bit open, but respecting homes and respecting privacy and respecting the time of rest, like the time after Isha and the times in the qaylula times, the time between Dhuhr and Asr, these times have to be respected. If we had to call someone, like it's an emergency, like it's a matter of life and death, let's say, if it's not that matter, then we can wait, we can hold, and we still wait until that private time is now passed, and it's okay, they are accessible now and we can talk to them. So, and if they were patient, or if they hold patience, or if they hold themselves and control themselves until you come out from your homes to them by yourself, like without them calling, لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ. لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ. So what does that mean? لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ, if they did. So khayran is better for them. Ahsanti. Khayran, better. Lahum, for them. Kana here, yes, you can say was, but here it would have been, because kana is really flexible in Arabic. It would have been khayran lahum. What does that mean, that it would have been better? Khayran here is a comparison. Khayran lahum, better for them. Better means they didn't get the better of it. If they had waited, or if they had held patience, ahsanti. What does that mean? لَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ, it would have been better for them, yes. But that as well implies that they didn't get what they wanted fully. So Muhammad ﷺ came out after them calling him like that, and they presented their situation. He said, okay, today we're going to try and release half of the people. Why did he hold the other half? Why didn't he just say, okay, all of them out, or all of them, like the situation of all of them is solved, all the people. Ahsanti, their desire was not fulfilled fully, like so they got something. They got something because Muhammad ﷺ now is out. So he gave them something, but he didn't give them everything. To teach them and us that lesson. What do we learn? We learn few things. If someone, like I'm going to use an example of parenting. So if your child in a wrong way tried to get something, and you had to interfere to give it to them, they should not take it all, or they should not take it fully. Why? That will just teach them next time they would come and do the same thing, and you will give it again. So the learning here is, if you give them little bit as a reward for what they did, the reward for the nag, and as well, Muhammad ﷺ is out now, so he acted upon the situation. Good. However, they should not take everything, for them not to repeat that, and for all of us to learn to respect each other's privacy, private time, private places. So don't say, I'm not going to give you anything. That would be unfair. Give some and say, listen, next time or tomorrow or the next day or next week, I will give you the rest. Why? Because you did not use the right manner. The right manner is for you to do this. And continue to do that every time. Don't get tired. Parenting can be tiring and overwhelming sometimes. But if you keep simple rules, if you keep it simple, you are able to keep track. So there is mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has a lot of mercy in his heart. He is Ra'ufun Rahim. He shows the mercy. He shows the affection. And at the same time, there is a lesson. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Wallahu ghafurun rahimun, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is Allah. Allah is the one who forgives all and who has the mercy over all. Everyone, you and them, right? So that is not, I didn't keep count of the lessons, but you already have. From what is the tone of talking to the Prophet ﷺ, not calling him with his name, those that talk gently and softly to him, imtihan al-taqwa, and we learned about imtihan al-taqwa, and now calling in a private time or in a private place in a certain way. Coming out, yes, you can, Muhammad ﷺ gave them some, but held some, and then later on he gave the rest, but to show mercy and as well to teach. Clear questions? Now, next manner, subhanAllah, and next lesson in the surah is the one that's coming. And if you didn't see this or witness it in the last week, maybe in the last month, it always happens. This kind of behavior always happens. So, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu. So now I want you to tell me, what do you do when you hear, because I already said it so many times. I'm expecting you to answer. When you hear Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, that's an nida from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yunadi those who believe. What do you do when you hear that or read that in the Quran? To pay attention, mashallah, and listen carefully. Mashallah, and listen attentively. Mashallah, it is important. Allahu Akbar. May Allah bless you. Mashallah, tabarakallah. Then now we're listening carefully. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, In ja'akum fasiqun binabain. Ahsanti jazakallah khair. It's either warning for something to avoid or guidance for you to follow. Okay, so in ja'akum fasiqun binabain. In is like law, but comes in a different occasion. So in means if, in case, if or in case, ja'akum, kum, you all, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing those who believe, so there is a kum, there is a address, kum, came to you, ahsanti, came to you, when or in case, or if, came to you, fasiqun, don't rush to explain fasiqun, wait a second. Fasiqun doesn't mean the person that's not with Islam or with Iman. Fasiqun has a meaning. So I want to explain the meaning before we say it. Binaba'in. You know binaba'in at least from Surah An-Naba. So you know the bi and you know nanaba. If you're familiar with Surah An-Naba and the title of the surah, you should be able to understand binaba'in. Making problems or opposite to fixing it. What is making problems? Do you mean the fasiqun? Okay. Okay, this person can do that, but I want to explain to the root. What does the root mean? Those who disobey, this is what I said. Try not to rush to think. Fasiqun mean disobey, like as to call them disobedience or disobedient, but it has a meaning, and I want to explain to you in a second. Okay, ahsanti. The corruptors are fasidun, but fasiqun has a different meaning. Okay. So news. So naba'in with news, like my sisters said above. What is fasiq? Let's explain fasiq. There are two ways to explain it. First, when you imagine you're planting a seed of bean or any seed. I believe if not all of us, most of us did that at a certain point. If you love gardening or if you were experimenting, you put it and then you water it. How do you expect, inshallah, when the bean started growing, how you expect the growth of the leaves? Which direction it goes? Towards the sun. Okay, mashallah. So my sister Romana said towards the sun. My sister Umdawa said up. Okay. Do we agree? Rest of us agree? My sisters, try. It's okay. Ahsanti, we agree. Okay. So we expect that the next stage after start growing is going to leaf like this, upward. Okay. So, however, if it did like this and grew sideways, Arabs say, فسق الزرع. فسق الزرع. So don't say that, or don't tell me that you think that the zara is the plant. Don't tell me that the plant disobeyed. You're not thinking that. But what are you thinking? What is it that they mean when they say فسق الزرع? It did not go on the way, not spoiled. It did not go on the way that it was supposed to go. It was supposed to go upward. It was supposed to follow a certain course. It not right or wrong. It just followed a different course. It did not go accordingly. That is ahsanti. That is better. You see, from the word, from how often you heard the word fasaqa or fasiq, you think it has to be someone that's doing something wrong. He's disobedient. He is not following the right way. There is something he did wrong, this person, but it doesn't mean that they are all the time like that. In that situation, they went out of the course that they were supposed to go. So that's why they're called fasaqa. I won't say to rebel, no. Rebel has a lot of force in it. When you say someone is rebelling, means someone is fighting. They could fight, the fasaqa could fight, but the starting point for them is not fighting, it's just going off the course. So fasaq can fight later, but how it occur for them, that they go out. Another example for you to understand fasaqa, when we collect the dates from the tree, they are still with a lot of humidity and water, and if we leave them a little bit, if you've seen dates after a little bit from Medina or from any other country, they reach a point that you can easily take the peel or the cover off the date easily. We call that fasaqatu. We say fasaqat tamra. That doesn't mean it went bad or went spoiled. It means it's now easy for you to take out the peel or the skin outside easily and leave the part with the meat and the seed On the other hand, that is fasaqatu. So again, going out generally, or going out of the course is called fasaqa. So now how do we apply this here? So when fasiq, this person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now is calling him fasiq, he or she went out of the agreement of the group and want to single themselves or single you out of it with something. Imagine you are in a gathering and one sister comes to you, sister, I need to speak to you. It's an urgent matter. So you say, okay. And then when you speak, when she speaks to you, she says, you know that sister that lives near you or that's sitting beside you, in the beginning, when we came, she told this and this and this and this is that about you. We call that action fisq. It is not because she is bad, it's because her act is out of the ordinary. Like my sister Kohinoor said, it didn't go accordingly. She's supposed to be enjoying the gathering and everybody's cheerful and everybody's smiling and trying to speak nice and trying to be humble. She went out of that to deliver a news that is not good to you. That is what is called fisq. Going out of the ordinary, going out of the course, breaking the course, going out of the path that is supposed to go. Am I making any sense? So how now do you understand fasiq? Can you put it with your own words? And please try. Even if you thought you didn't get it 100%, with your participation, I will help you. So going out their way. You mean off their way? Or going out somebody else's way? You can't hear. Okay. Oh, did you activate your audio? Sorry, 1 second, just checking. Yes, your audio is on. Out of the ordinary. Fasaqa is out of the ordinary. Okay, I'm just writing quick note to my sister Yasin. Oh, Yasmin, sorry. When you behave in a way that's unusual or ahsanti. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now warning us. It's an important matter. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu. When fasiq, when someone go out of the ordinary and address you with a matter, with a news, which is with that matter, fatabayyanu. That's the order now that we have to take on board. Fatabayyanu. What does tabayyanu sound like to you? Tabayyanu. What does it sound like to you? My sister Yasmin, can you hear me better? Between? No, that's bayna. Warn. No. Clear evidence from which word, my sister Dawood? Bayyina. Santi. Tabayyanu is from the word bayyina or bayan. Bayyina. So tabayyanu means what? Seek clear evidence or clear proof. Another way to put it, seek clarity. Don't act upon the news that came to you in this way. Someone taking you on the side, giving you a news. Don't disturb yourself with that news. Don't act upon it. Don't decide anything because of it. Before you have bayan, before you tabayyan. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that will tell us why. And this is the consequence. If we didn't do bayan, the consequence will follow. But what we're ordered to is when someone tell you, I need you, this person told this about you. Get or have evidence, get clarity. Don't just act upon what they said. It could be their own observation. It could be their own thought, their own interpretation. That doesn't mean necessary that there is something with that matter, you see. So someone come to you, someone send you a message about one of your relatives, one of your friends, one of your neighbors, saying that they said this, or they did that, or they said that about someone else. You don't have to pay attention to that. You say, okay, Jazakallah khairan, but I will try not to interfere in other people's lives or business if it's something not related to you. If it relates to you, say Jazakallah khairan for that, but I will check first. So to teach them that they don't have to come with every news to spread it, even if and without a proof, without them being sure about it. I hope that makes sense. Jazakumullahu khairan for attending and participating. May Allah reward you all and bless these beautiful days for us. Allahumma ameen. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل ونعوذ بك من النار وما قرب إليها من قول وعمل. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. ربنا اجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا. ربنا ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار. اللهم آمين. ربنا تقبل منا صيامنا وقيامنا وصالح أعمالنا. اللهم آمين. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وإياكم.
جزاك الله خير أستاذ. السلام عليكم.
وإياكم.
جزاك الله
عليكم
خير
السلام.
أستاذة. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.